Hi, my name is Jerry, and I'm pretty sure that most of the people in this class, if not all of them, knows a classmate or someone in college that does drugs in the form of marijuana or any other form of amphetamines. So, drugs are abundant on college campuses, but why? Based off research, a considerable amount of students use drugs or have used drugs, which affects learning and social interaction. I have also experienced this on my own where I've been peer pressured to do drugs in a social activity. So I'm going to be talking about the statistics of drug use on college campuses, the reasons why students choose to do drugs, especially in college, and then finally, how they affect learning and the social environment. So, a rather large amount of students use recreational drugs occasionally on a regular basis. So, based off a study conducted by the School of Communication in San Diego State University, out of a sample size of 498 students between the age of 18 to 21, 31% of them reported having done drugs at least once, with 15% of them smoking marijuana on a recreational basis, which in terms of this study, it was them doing that particular drug five or more times within the last 30 days. So there's also a correlation between amphetamines and marijuana. So amphetamines are basically drugs that provide a stimulus to the brain. So, and then the most popular being Adderall, which is considered a study drug. So 34% is a considerable amount. Almost half of the student population have used drugs at least once. So why is that? So there's a handful of reasons why students, particularly in college, choose to go do drugs. So according to addictioncenter.com, the high rates of drug use in students is attributed to stress. So many students are given high demands in terms of course load, and other factors such as social obligations all attribute to stress. So in order to cope with high amounts of coursework, students use the most popular amphetamine, Adderall, which allows them to focus more. But most of the time, Adderall isn't obtained through a legitimate source most of the time. And then in terms of social obligations, it goes hand in hand with peer pressure. In college, you interact with more people, and when you're surrounded by people that are also experimenting with a new drug in their lives, you're more likely to also do it yourself. So, years of studies show the effects of drugs on the brain and learning ability. According to an article by the National Institute of Drug Abuse, excessive use of drugs could potentially lower a student's grades as well as lower IQ with heavy marijuana use. So, this is probably already common knowledge to everyone, but we haven't thought about the social environment of drugs in college. So, it is now easier to access various drugs. So, because the more social you are, the more friends you have, and the previous study showed that 78.5% of people have friends that do drugs, which increases when taking all of the points that I mentioned previously, with social networking and being able to access them more because you have more friends that do them. So, drug use in college is very relevant, especially that most of us know or are associated with people that do them. So, the reasons of drug use is incredibly varied, but so everybody has different reasons for doing it, whether it's personal or socially or at school. But most of it comes down to, from all the research that has been done, most of it comes down to just social curiosity and course workload. So an easier course load would definitely help with students not having to resort to drugs in order to be successful and get what they need to do done. Thank you.